Vic Mignogna, Vic Mignogna.
Mignogna.
Hey yo everyone, I bet you thought I wasn't going to make another video about this controversy, now did ya? I'm expecting there's going to be a lot of new news that is going to come out over a period of time about why Vic was fired from Funimation, and if it did have to do with this Anime News Network article, because now it's sounding like they had an investigation, which Monica claims to have been an investigation of their employees and Vic's experiences with them. I don't know if this is actually true, but supposedly the story that Monica had with Vic, the inappropriate situation, was he whispered sexually in her ear. I didn't see this story on her Twitter, but I have heard from rumors that that is why she is coming out against Vic. So I didn't know this in my last video, but apparently Monica has taken some of Vic's old jobs, which is suspicious, to say the least. I mean, how the heck does that interaction even happen? Monica, I'm very sorry about your experience with Vic. We here at Funimation want you to know that we do not condone any of that behavior. Would having Vic's old job make you feel better? What's more, Monica has been crazy on Twitter lately. I'm sure you guys have heard stories, but what she's apparently doing now is, so people are upset at Monica, right? Because they believe that she's coming out with a false allegation against him. What's more, they also believe that she did this because she was trying to steal Vic's job. So what she's been doing is she's been screenshotting people who are tweeting about her and threatening to sue them for harassment. And I wouldn't be laughing, but some of those tweets aren't even directed at her, saying, like, the reason she should be fired is because she's harassing fans. And then she'll reply to that tweet and say, I'm gonna sue you, stop harassing me. You're replying to them and saying they're harassing you. It's a little bit backwards, you know? Somebody says, hey, Monica has been harassing her fans lately, and then Monica replies back, you're harassing me and I'm gonna sue you. It's a little bit crazy, but she doesn't have a case to sue anybody. So, first of all, people do kind of have a right to talk about you on Twitter. If the information is public, they're talking about the information, they're speculating about the information, and they're drawing opinions from that information. If they're spreading false information, if they're lying about you and spreading it virally, you might have a case for defamation of character, although that case is usually more strong when it comes to news articles, but she definitely can't go around suing people on Twitter for talking about her and claiming that it's harassment. Tools that allow you to block, even use block bots, mute, and basically do everything in your power to keep these people away from you, to keep these people from harassing you directly. And as a Twitter user, it's basically your responsibility to use those tools so that you won't be harassed on Twitter. If you could sue people just for talking about you on Twitter, do you know how much censorship? That would be the ultimate censorship law in America. No one would be able to talk about anything because you could just get sued. But we're not here to talk about Monica. That's not what this video is about. Because I don't want Monica to sue me. We're here to talk about Vic, and today I decided to do a really deeping video. I dug really deep into the internets to see what I could find about these allegations, where they started, where they came from, how they developed over time. So that's what this video is about, and we're going to see what we found on the Googles. So, basic Google search, you can also do this on Bing, but I think Google is better at collecting information for a long period of time. So, basically searched basic keywords, either together or separate, whichever gets the most results for these topics. And I searched this through 2004 to 2014. 2014 is notably when people started actually starting petitions for Mignogna. Now basically, I got a bunch of tabs here, as you can see, we're just gonna go over as many of these as we can. So one of the earlier stories about Vic, typically, you know, him being an asshole, rude, egotistical, it came from a DeviantArt post. So in this story about Vic, they basically describe a situation where Vic's fans are kind of out of control, you know, ever so screaming, fangirly. And during a cosplay contest, everyone was like freaking out because Vic was there, which eventually led to him getting up and dancing with the music, and, you know, people were all eyes on Vic, so he kind of stole the spotlight from the cosplay contest. And basically it just describes that situation and how they felt like he was being a little bit of an asshole, a little bit egotistical in that moment and taking away from cosplayers. And then we have here down in the comments, people are kind of talking about, hey, I don't really think that he's an asshole. There are a bunch of these comments just saying, you know, it sounds like he was just trying to have fun and you took it in a bad light. And this post was all the way back in 2008. A lot of these comments came from 2013 or 14. And one of the comments in 2013 was from Mistress of the Roses. As they were walking away, they heard Vic say some nasty things about someone who might have been homosexual. They also say that they have on video Vic throwing a tantrum and kicking and screaming that the people, Funimation workers it looked, had dared ask Vic to play a gay man. So this would have to do with Vic voice acting a gay character, which he has. So they're claiming that he threw a huge tantrum about that, but also took the job anyway. Not quite sure the semantics there, but... And somebody challenged them on the idea that they had video. So they said they don't have the video on them, but just look for a Paradox Photographer on YouTube. So I did so, and granted, they might have changed their name since last this was posted, but I could not find a Paradox Photographer YouTube channel. And the person that they were talking back and forth with for this evidence also says, yeah, there is no channel called Paradox Photographer on YouTube. So unfortunately, this commenter could not provide the evidence that they said that they had. And there are also other weird claims in these comments, like I heard a spit on his hand and touched another voice actor who's germophobic with that hand at a con. It's a very, very weird claims like that, but that's kind of what you'll get when you look into the comments section. So here's a forum in 2012 where they're talking about how the allegations against Vic is that he's egotistical, homophobic, and hostile to yaoi fans, which we've already been over the homophobic claims and how that started, how the rumors started. And people on this forum basically talk about how people assume just because you're not into yaoi that means that you're homophobic, and people are using his religion as a weapon to confirm this belief. We have this rant all the way going back 2010 where they talk about this rumors discussion panel from Vic where he talks about all these rumors that have been going on about him, and he says, yeah, it's all blatant lies, and he kind of goes on to defend himself. And in this post that they rant about him, they basically say that they don't believe Vic, and they don't believe that he's taking responsibility for his actions. And you see that during 2010, they were also replying to some comments promoting the idea that he was kissing, like, girls who were mostly 13 or very young girls, therefore he must be a pedophile. They actually made a more newer post in 2014 saying that it was written in 2010 and they've grown up a bit. But in this post, they still kind of defend their original belief that he was not being sincere. And once again, they comment back to the anonymous in 2019 and said, "Did you check the date on this? This is almost 9 years old. I'm not a part of this community anymore and don't even know what Vic is doing at this moment. This was written after personal experience at several cons, and I was also young and stupid." So in 2014, they were basically defending their position. In 2019, it kind of sounds like they're retracting it, or they don't believe like it's valid anymore because of how they were at the time. So next we have convention horror stories, and this is a story from 2009 as evidence of Vic being an asshole or Vic being egotistical, and also talking about his fangirls and how crazy they are. And this person refers to them as pedo-bait fangirls. So once again, playing off of that pedophile idea. And this story is basically this girl who was late and was running past a bunch of people in the hallway, and she was kind of shoving them around a lot. And she ended up shoving Vic by accident, to which a lot of the fangirls saw and were upset at her about. And apparently he responded in some kind of a way like, "Oh, do you know who I am?" And she responded back, I don't care, I'm late," and kept on going. This whole post is about quite some crazy stories that I kind of question. But that's the one about Vic. To be honest, the story about Vic isn't nearly as bad as the other stories that she claims to have gone through. This cosplayer on Tumblr made a post about the con and said, "Saw Vic Mignogna all out groping a group of 14-year-old girls in the wave pool," along with a bunch of other list of things. And this was a joke, but people took it seriously at the time and took to Twitter in some cases to talk about how he was caught groping 14-year-old girls in the wave pool. So this, I think, might be where it started to be taken seriously, that he was actually a little bit pedophilic. Before, it was just people saying, "Ugh," and he kisses 14-year-old girls on the cheek for pictures. That must mean he's a pedophile. She kind of makes a joke about him having 14-year-old girl fans. It's really not his fault that he has 14-year-old girl fans. Later on, the cosplayer retracted this the next day, actually. They said, "Just to clear things up, Vic did not then, nor does he ever, grope girls in the wave pool at ColossaCon or at any other convention, present or past, or in any circumstances not involving a wave pool or a convention or ever, as this kind of rumor seems to be a popular one and is not in any way true. I'm glad that even if that post was an old one, that Tumblr somehow glitched to the top of the tag that we could address it." And then we get into some of the Reddit posts. This is a story about a positive experience that someone had with Vic and how much fun it was hanging out with them. And then in the comments, we got people who basically just drop a bomb on this post saying that Vic has a habit of getting drunk and trying to pick up underage women, and he's also homophobic and creepy. And there are a couple other people who chime in who say that he is encouraging fangirling and he's encouraging girls to fawn over him. He's getting touchy with girls who are under 18, and you shouldn't touch girls who are under 18 at all. You should always keep at least 10 feet away from them. But what's more, they also go on to say that Vic has been blacklisted at a lot of cons. I'm not sure how people would find out that information, because cons don't usually announce when they've banned somebody. It's usually the person themselves who has to say, "Hey, I was banned from this con for this, and that reason." And there can be multiple reasons why you're banned for a con. But supposedly the reason why he was banned, the rumor is that he was hitting on minor women. I would assume that if you were hitting on minor women at a con and you got caught, then you would be banned for life and it would be a huge deal. but people usually just bring up that he was banned from cons, and they don't really say which cons he was banned from. I did find one post where they mentioned he might have been banned from Anime Matsuri, and he's definitely been banned from Zenkai Con, and this was in 2012 that they said he was banned from these cons. So if you look at the cons he's attended since 2012, there it is, Anime Matsuri 2016, and right above it, Zenkai Con 2016. So if they banned him for sexually harassing minors, then I'm pretty sure they wouldn't have invited him back afterwards in 2016. And then he's also going to Anime Matsuri in 2019. At least that's what it's looking like now. But of course, there are plenty of conventions that are withdrawing their invitations. So yeah, I don't really see any real proof that he's been banned from cons, especially not for sexually assaulting minors. But once again, that's really something that I wouldn't imagine the average person to know about. So I'm not even sure how people online would get that information. It does, in fact, sound like a rumor that just spread around. So then there was this Tumblr post in 2014 where they actually started to bring out petitions and bring people together about getting Vic fired. So people have been telling me that this has nothing to do with the yaoi incident, that these are real women who really had bad experiences with Vic and who were actually sexually assaulted by Vic. Has nothing to do with the yaoi incident. Yeah, like most of these reasons, the 5 of these reasons to fire Vic has to do with his relationship with yaoi and the fact that he is Christian. So that doesn't look good if you're claiming that, oh, it's because of the harassment claims. And then we have video of Vic saying he made a Holocaust joke and refused to apologize. So yeah, this the whole anti-Semitic claim on Vic has to do with making this joke, and it wasn't even an anti-Semitic joke. Like, they were in a room and there was a lot of noise going on in the other room, and people were like, man, what's that? And he said, it sounds like a Holocaust. And somehow that's anti-Semitic. Somehow. You're not allowed to say the word Holocaust because that's anti-Semitic. Just saying the word is anti-Semitic. And then, of course, we have YouTube videos of Vic kissing underage girls without asking how old they are. He's kissing them on the cheek. On the cheek. And then there's this video of him being, it says behaving in a flirtatious sexual manner toward an underage girl. But they're acting out a scene together, and this is actually really common that girls will ask him to repeat lines to them and act out a scene together with him. Fun fact, if you go to this video was posted in 2011, keep that in mind, all you have to do is scroll down 2 inches. Yo, just letting everyone know, the girl in this video is 25. Okay, bye. All you had to do was scroll down 2 inches and you would see that she was not underage. It's so difficult, isn't it? And then, of course, we have number 9, picture of Vic kissing a girl who clearly doesn't want Vic's attention. And we all know who this was already. She's the girl who made the Facebook post saying that she did give him permission to kiss her and that she doesn't want any part in this campaign. So don't use her picture and say that she doesn't want Vic's attention. Number 10, a vlog that documents the experience of anonymous underage girls. And this is the same exact Tumblr that included that fan's photo without her say in it. And this is also where this rumor came from, that somebody slipped yaoi under Vic's hotel room at a con, and he tried to sue the hotel.
Another lie that I heard was that I'm currently suing a hotel because someone slid yaoi under my door.
And a lot of these posts came from the same blog, like 9, 10, and 11. I think came from the same blog. I think 12 also came from the same blog, but it won't actually load, so it might have been deleted. The 13 was the forum that I read to you before, where that girl said, "Hey, I was young and stupid." And then we have this Tumblr. Oh my goodness. This Tumblr posts. Wow, they really put a lot of effort in making this look creative, didn't they? So this is like all the reasons why they hate Vic Mignogna, and it starts with he uses the same oh god, wow, that's weird. And it starts with he uses the same voice for every role. And of course, they suggest that we should band together and get Vic kicked off of Funimation, get him fired, and of course we all know how this eventually turned out. And they go on to say that they don't have actual proof that these rumors are true, but that they're certain that people can verify these rumors. So basically their idea is, well, maybe it is true. And if it is true, then that's horrible, and we should get him off. So that's a huge dump of information that I've given you here. I don't know if you want any more information, but you can feel free to search whatever you want and find out whatever you can about this whole situation. But to be blunt with all of you, I really don't see that much evidence, even when I do, like, go really deep into digging into Vic's life. I still don't really see that much evidence about him sexually harassing women. And then of course you have rumors of him being banned from cons, which I haven't really found any proof of that. All the homophobic stuff, you already know all the stories about that. I don't think Vic is homophobic.
I have found in my personal experience is that what these kids need to know is that God loves them, is that God embraces and accepts them as they are. They've been told by people who call themselves Christians for years, God hates this, God's going to judge you for this, God's going to condemn you for that, and they don't believe, they don't understand that God loves them as they are, and accepts them as they are.
As far as Vic refusing to answer the question, do you support gay marriage at a con? First of all, you shouldn't be asking political questions at a con. I feel like that's really inconsiderate, because no matter what he answers, he's going to have people yelling at him. No matter what side you choose, no matter what answer you give, you're going to be yelled at by somebody. You're going to lose some fans. That's why it's smart to remain politically neutral. I don't know anything about the Funimation investigation that went on there. It doesn't look like they've given us any information about it. I mean, Monica has given us more information than Funimation has, and all Monica said was that they interviewed a bunch of people and had a boatload of evidence and all this stuff, and it's like, well, can we see that? And as far as what I think Vic should do, I know that a lot of different people are covering the story, so at this point, what you're hearing right now is probably really redundant. I don't think that Vic should go back to Funimation, honestly. Not because he doesn't deserve the job, but because Funimation clearly doesn't respect him. I think Vic should find a new, better job. And as far as these allegations and how they're going to affect him in the future, I think what would help is if Vic did a very long interview with someone who was asking him as many questions as possible so that no topic remained unspoken of. Especially now that he's been kicked off of a lot of cons that he was originally going to go to in 2019. Now he can't really say his side of the story, and I don't really think that he should rely on Twitter for talking about his side of the story. There's only so much you can say on Twitter. So I think that maybe a live interview would be great with Vic. Vic, if you want me to interview you, I am one heck of a killer interviewer. I would love to have you on my YouTube or some other there's a bunch of channels who have covered the Vic Mignogna story. So I would hope that people are reaching out to Vic, asking him for interviews, or maybe he can reach out to somebody and give him his fair say about all these situations and his relationship with Funimation employees, what could have been happening at the time, how these rumors could have started, and so on and so forth. So there's your information dump of the day. Basically, everything I could dig up online. Feel free to do your own research, however. You can probably find even more stuff if you dig even deeper. If you look on that Tumblr where everyone was submitting anonymous Vic stories, although I would not consider that a Tumblr to be a very reliable source. Let me know what you think below in the comments. Remember to like the video, as usual. Once again, I'm hoping for the best, honestly. I'll see you guys next time. Bye! Program restart.